Here, bro.
Yeah, it was, but it's not now.
Jack, you don't have a chair, right?
I have a chair.
I can stand during the meeting.
Well, I guess they have
Is that Jack's day? Is that your day?
Maybe my seat. There's no chair for me.
like reading baseball. Oh, yeah, I sent him an email the other day. I just forget. To order. And Councilman Soap, would you do us the honor of the invocation, please?
Yes, Madam Speaker. Please stand. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, creator of all things, we come to you this night, Lord. We just thank you for the many blessings you've given us this evening, Lord. We thank you for the many blessings that you give us to our people. We just pray that you will watch over us, guide and direct us, Lord. Just be with our elders and our young people, Lord. Guide and direct them, take care of them, and give them peace of heart, Lord. Just be with our soldiers and pray for traveling grace this evening for the participants. In Jesus' name, amen.
So, next order of business is approval of the regular session minutes of October 9th. Oh, roll call. Roll call.
Joe Anglin.
Here.
Joe John Baker.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Ollie Baker.
Here.
Julia Coates. Here. Brad Cobb. Joe Crittenden.
Here.
Jody Kissingham. Meredith Brady.
Here.
Janelle Fulbright. Here. Don Garvin. Chuck Hoskin.
Here.
Amador Jordan. Present. Curtis Snell.
Here.
Chris Stokes.
Here.
David Thornton. Carol Town Watts.
Honey. We have a quorum. Next is approval of the minutes of the October 19 regular session tribal council meeting. Second. Motion and a second to approve the minutes as written. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The minutes stand approved as written. Next order of business. Yes.
Madam
Mr.
Speaker,
Baker.
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to include a resolution that came out of the Resources Committee opposing the proposed IMAC Petroleum Services Fast 2 saltwater injection well at Bayonne, Oklahoma.
Second.
Do you want that as item 6?
Yes, please.
Okay, under new business.
Yes.
Okay, item 6, under new business. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda is amended. Next order of business is State of the Nation. Principal Chief Chad Smith.
State of the Nation in November of 2009. Has been our custom and honor is to remember those of our family and friends that have passed on. Some of them that we can report to you this evening is Robert Ketcher, the husband of our treasurer, Callie Ketcher. Granville Guy Maxson, he was an 86-year-old rancher in Edna, Oklahoma, World War II veteran. He's also a member of the Cherokee Historical Society. Longtime career services and Job Corps employee Joyce Rose. She was a great asset to the tribe and helped many people find meaningful careers in her long tenure at Job Corps. Pawnee Elder John Whiteshirt, his daughter Laura, is a longtime Cherokee Nation behavioral health employee. Betty Walker Cowan, Christy Bush, the daughter of Linda and Sam Ed Bush Jr. of Marble City. Are there others the council or the audience knows of that we'd like to recognize at this time?
Mr. Hoskin?
Jimmy Gray, good friend and barber from Bonita, passed away Friday.
Thank you.
Did you mention Louise Campbell?
I did not.
They had her funeral on Friday, full blood from Barbara.
Dr. Cobb?
Starlin Norwood passed away, an educator in Bartlesville, and actually, I believe, to the nation probably 30 years ago.
Louis Swindler of Oklahoma City, formerly from Delaware County.
Any others?
If you will, join me in a moment of silence. Last week we celebrated Veterans Day here at the Cherokee Nation. Our Veterans Affairs Office held a ceremony the day before Veterans Day. We had a helicopter fly in and honored all the branches of service. We put a wreath as a token of our appreciation at the Veterans Memorial. On Veterans Day, many of our elected officials and citizens participated in parades. It's always an honor to pay tribute to our veterans, and we had a banquet for them at up at the place where they played that evening. We honor individual Cherokee veterans every month, and tonight we honor two Cherokee veterans. The first is Owen Scott, and if Buell and Brad Cobb and Buell Anglin could come and join me for this presentation. Owen Scott was born in 1932 in Keystone, Oklahoma, to Pearl and Tom Scott. Owen lost his mother when he was 3 years old. She left behind 8 children. The older children were sent to government Indian boarding schools, but Owen and his sister Alice were taken in by their grandparents, Sam and Jesse Sanders, at Proctor, Oklahoma. At the age of 12, Owen and his sister joined their father in Oakland, California. After high school, the Korean War was taking place. Owen volunteered for the Navy and served 4 years. After leaving the Navy, he attended college and obtained a Bachelor of Science degree in civil engineering from Oklahoma State in 1960. He commenced work on the Eufaula Dam construction, and after a couple of years of experience joined the Peace Corps, building roads in Malaysia. While overseas, Owen met and married his wife, Lee, from Thailand, and they and their son came back to the United States to live. After a civil engineering career, Owen retired and moved back to Oklahoma to work on a project to preserve traditionally used plants such as wild greens and berries. He also helped start the Tulsa Cherokee Community Organization and joined the Cherokee Elders Council Incorporated. He was selected to serve as a delegate on the Cherokee 1999 Constitutional Convention. Owen also teaches a Cherokee class at the Zero Library in West Tulsa. Would you at this time let us show our appreciation for Owen Scott for his service to the Cherokee Nation and our government. Very grateful nation. I choose care to say a few words?
Well, I thank you and the Cherokee Nation for this. I'm proud to be Cherokee and to serve any way I can. This, I think, is something really nice.
Thank you. Major Joel Graham was commissioned an Army Aviation Second Lieutenant upon graduation from Northeastern State University. After receiving training at Fort Rucker, Alabama, and Fort Benning, Georgia, Major Graham reported for service at Fort Carson, Colorado. There he was assigned to the 4th Infantry Division and the 3rd Armored Cavalry Regiment, and he served as an Air Assault Platoon Leader, Company Executive Officer, Command Aviation Platoon Leader, and Assistant Division Operations Officer. After an Aviation Officer Advanced course, he went on to be assigned to Camp Stanley in Korea. Graham commanded the most forward deployed air assault company in the world, flying multiple air and assault and air movement missions along the demilitarized zone of North and South Korea. After Korea, Graham went to Colorado, where he served as a space operations officer and led a project team that he designed and tested satellite imagery used in the mountainous terrain of Afghanistan during Operation Enduring Freedom. Graham returned to Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, to continue his officer professional development and coordinated air missions in support of the brigade's combat operations in Iraq during Operation Iraq Freedom. Following redeployment from Iraq, Graham was assigned to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and he currently resides as an operations officer in U.S. Army Field Artillery School. He is responsible for training management of more than 18,000 enlisted and officer soldiers and Marines annually. In addition to his military training, Graham holds a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Management from Northeastern State University. Major Graham, could you come forward? A grateful nation to present you from the Cherokee Nation. Nobles, patriotism. Award to the Scott Freedom Return. We honor you. I appreciate that. Very grateful for your service. It's an honor to come down here. It's been a long time.
Why they put Velcro on all the... You can kind to expedite. You are trying to have a meeting tonight, right? So much.
Do you care to say a few words?
I sure do, if you don't mind. It's such an honor. Thank you. Chief, I'll borrow a podium if I can. Chief Smith, council members, family, and friends, thank you so much for this opportunity to enter these chambers and take a moment to say thank you. I'm honored and humbled to be with you today and to be recognized as a Cherokee warrior. I must give recognition where recognition is due, however. I can only accept this honor if I'm permitted to accept this induction on behalf of the teams that make me who I am. I've been blessed throughout my life to be a member of many great teams, whether they were athletic teams, academic teams, community or church teams. Of the many teams that surround me, I would like to receive this induction on behalf of the three of those teams. First, my family team, here with me tonight. Secondly, the team of warriors that currently serve in harm's way. And thirdly, the Cherokee Warrior Team. My service has been and will only continue to be as successful as my teams have and will support in the future. First, I'm blessed to have a family team who has provided strength, guidance, and inspiration throughout my life, present tonight and those not present. I'm also grateful to be part of America's Sons and Daughters in Uniform. My military team, who recognizes a calling that is greater than themselves. It is astonishing to me that recruiting rates are at an all-time high, especially considering an all-volunteer force that faces such a vicious foe. Any young man or woman who literally dedicates their life in service of their nation presents an act of selflessness that we can all be proud of. Lastly but not least, I accept this honor on behalf of my Cherokee Warrior Team, the warriors who have gone before me and have endured the hardships that make this nation great and make this military what it is today, the most powerful joint force in the world. So on behalf of my family, America's sons and daughters serving our country a long way from home tonight, the Cherokee warriors past and present, I humbly accept this honor on their behalf. I would be remiss tonight if I did not take this opportunity to openly express how proud I am of my ancestry to be Cherokee and a member of the Cherokee Nation. I came to Tahlequah today by way of the Great Going Snake District. I came home to Tahlequah today. My wife and I took the afternoon to reflect on my time and experience here as a student at Northeastern State University, a member of the NSU ROTC program, and a member of this great community rich in the history of the Cherokee. As I drove around town and came to this headquarters this afternoon, I was filled with pride. I'm very proud and honored to be part of the Cherokee Nation, and much of my pride today is due to the apparent and genuine emphasis the Cherokee Nation has vested in recognizing our soldiers and warriors and veterans so honorably. Recent construction of the War Memorial and your plans for the Veterans Building adjacent to this headquarters demonstrates your enduring support to the sacrifices of the warrior. Thank you. Thank you for bringing me home today. Thank you for what you do for the warrior. Thank you for what you do for the Cherokee Nation and the United States of America. Well done.
I meant to ask you, Major, is there a camp or is there a fort that you've not been in? Is there a fort that you have not been in?
Not off the top of my head.
In program and service updates. We're all inspired by your comments, sir. Thank you. Cherokee Nation has worked with Northeastern State University and a four-county economic cooperative to present economic options for the future. The SAC Easy, it was quite a successful event last 2 weeks ago, in which we understood that there had to be an original effort to maintain and establish a viable economic policy for today and for our future. Our Community Services Group held a meeting at Camp Egan to help the Cherokee Nation and all of our businesses find ways to better serve our citizens and our communities. We've seen a lot of thoughtful planning since the meeting. It's been helpful, and we appreciate everybody who attended and participated. Our employees are working hard in the Angel Tree program that provides holiday gifts to children who otherwise may get little under the tree this year. I encourage everyone to show their holiday spirit and take an active part this year and make it a family activity to go out and shop for these young people and help them have a good Christmas. I'm very proud to announce for the 8th year in a row, the Cherokee Nation has been awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting by the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada for its comprehensive annual financial report. This award represents excellence in government accounting. It has only been given to 3 tribal governments throughout the United States. To receive this award, it is necessary for the Cherokee Nation to have clean audits, budgets on time, and systems which reflect financial integrity. I would like to recognize our Financial Resources Group for this achievement. Their dedication and hard work are second to none. So do we have folks from the Finance Group? If you'll stand. Is anybody here? Okay. Let's give them, yeah, they're in the middle of audit and working on carryover budgets. Several Cherokee Nation health centers recently received Governmental Performance and Results Act awards from the U.S. Indian Health Service. They include Redbird Smith Health Center in Sallisaw, Three Rivers Health Center in Muskogee, the Amo Health Center in Salina, Sam Hyder Health Center in Jay, and Will Rogers Health Center in Nowata, and the Bartlesville and Veneta clinics. I also want to announce this November is Diabetes Awareness Month in the Cherokee Nation as part of our overall mission to help citizens become happy and healthy. Diabetes is a disease that affects not only individuals but entire families. We hope that teaching our people how to prevent and manage diabetes will lead to healthier families across the Cherokee Nation. In news, we had the opportunity to go to President Obama's Tribal Summit a week ago. The great value of the exercise is that he kept a campaign promise to have a tribal representative in the White House, and that is Kim Teehee, Cherokee citizen, who was actually an intern in the Cherokee Nation about a decade and a half ago. The summit was one of his campaign promises. He invited each of the federally recognized tribes. There's about 400 tribal members or tribal officials there. He opened the summit with a talk, and he said the things that mean so much to Indian country. That it would be his policy to have a nation-to-nation relationship between the tribes, the tribal governments, and the United States. He also reaffirmed the policy of consultation, meaningful consultation with the tribes. Of course, we've heard words before, and that policy was not new. It was the executive order under the Clinton administration and, by default, each of the Bush administrations. So what was unique and appreciated in this summit is that not only did he say the words, but he went through the actions that his words were meant to be followed. Part of his executive order was that each of his agencies, each of his cabinet heads, was required to submit a report in 90 days how to carry out that executive policy. The days prior to the summit, several of the agencies, health, education, labor, their secretaries, their cabinet level people held listening sessions for Indian country. And the day of the summit, there were 3 panels in which many of the secretaries and cabinet heads came back for listening sessions. So the message was very clear to the administration that carries out Indian policy and there's a provision to enforce that policy. In other events, we have the Great American Smokeout this Thursday, November 19th from 8 to 11. We hope this will encourage smokers to stop smoking for more than one day. And of course, our Healthy Nation staff holds regular smoking cessation classes for smokers who want to pursue a healthier lifestyle by stopping tobacco use. Congratulations to our Cherokee National Youth Choir, who will soon be celebrating 10 years. The choir is hoping to hear from all of its alumni from the past 10 years and would like to invite alumni to sing with the current choir at some upcoming special events. There will be a meeting on Saturday here in the council chambers at 10 a.m. to plan the schedule of events for the anniversary. Also, Christmas is closely coming upon us, and I've counted that we have 14 parades on our schedule this year. And if you haven't been to a Christmas parade, it's a little bit different than most. And it's really a great opportunity, because the nice thing about Christmas parades, they're dark and you don't walk them. The great thing about them is that once you're riding on a float, you can see all these little kids along the parade route, and they're anticipating Santa Claus who's following you. And they're very anxious to get candy, and it's just a very sweet time, and it's a good way to remind us what Christmas is truly about. So, of course, we'll send the calendar over to the council. We encourage you to join our floats, and if you have people who would like to join us on the floats, we'll have 2 floats going, because actually on December 12th I count 7 parades. So we'll have a float in the north and a float in the south to cover as many parades as possible. Also on December 8th, our youth choir will have a concert at the Wagner Civic Auditorium. And that's a great way to start the Christmas season, because our choir sings in an angelic tone. December 14th, I will be hosting a Christmas reception at the Jack Brown House. And on December 18th is our annual employee Christmas program, which will be at 12 to 3 p.m. at the place where they play. So at this juncture, are there any other Christmas announcements that the council would like to give us notice of? I think the council has a reception. Has that date been set?
December 15.
Okay. If there's no other announcements, Madam Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to appear.
Thank you for that kind of brief report. Next order of business is action of unfinished business. There being none pending, we'll move on to committee reports. And the Housing Authority, David Sutherland.
Good evening. I have a brief report. The November Housing Authority Board meeting will be tomorrow evening, the 17th, in the Eileen Hogner Conference Room. The meeting will begin at 5:30. It's a light agenda for that meeting. A few weeks ago, I attended the Ameren Risk Management Annual Convention. I mentioned at an earlier meeting, maybe at the last council meeting I was at, that Ameren is concerned about some of the homes on the Community Shield program being underinsured. What that means is the amount of coverage is $80,000, and if there was a total loss on a house, some houses are going to be worth $100,000 to fix, so they're going to be out of pocket some. So we're still looking at that issue. We've also got another issue that's we're having to deal with a little bit. The number of claims that have been submitted has been real high. We're going to have to make a few changes to our program, or there will be a substantial increase in premiums in the next few months. We're looking at different alternatives, such as increases in deductibles and those types of things to keep those increases in premiums down. I'll continue to keep everyone updated on the issue, because we do have a large number of Cherokee families that are on this program, and of course any changes will be a big effect on those folks. On a more positive note, Ameren is going to use our program to test a new claim procedure. They're going to be using what's called contractor connection for their claims. Right now, if someone on Community Shield has a claim, they call Ameren. Ameren asked them if it's a small claim to get pictures and quotes and do all those things and send it in to them. If it's a larger claim, Ameren will sometimes send out an adjuster to do that adjusting. But either way they do it, it takes time. Some of our folks just aren't equipped to email somebody pictures. So it does take up some time. Under contractor connection, the home buyer will call Ameren, report the claim. Ameren then contacts a vendor that's already been certified through contractor connection. They go do the write-up. They can do the work. Cuts down on the time. Big savings in time, which is my interest. Also, we're able to work with Ameren and Contractor Connection to get some of the vendors that are Terro certified through this program where they can be used. Right now, the family chooses who they use. They can choose anyone, be it Indian contractor or not. So there's some good things about this. I'm kind of anxious to get this going and see how it works, and I think it'll be a good deal for everyone. With that, just wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and that's my report, and answer any questions that I can.
Questions, comments? Mr. Sutherland? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next two reports. I understand Mr. Stewart's out of town, so Ms. Jarvis, are you going to do the next two reports?
The next one.
Next one.
Yes, that's right. Mr. Stewart is out of town, so I'll provide the report on behalf of CNE. We just had a few reports, or a brief report on contributions, how our expansions are going, on some job numbers, and then cultural tourism. In terms of contributions, those made to the nation beyond the dividend include retail sales at a total of $155,963, and also the liquor excise tax of $13,340 for a total of $169,304. And again, that was contributions to the nation beyond the dividend for this month. As far as jobs, our current employment number is 3,465, and of those 3,465 people, we're sitting right now with 59.2% Cherokee, 10.9% other Native American, for a total of 70.1% Native American employment. In terms of our expansion projects, last month we held our topping out ceremony at the West Siloam Hotel, and that's expected to be complete in May 2010. We continue work on the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Event Center, with expected completion on that arena in August 2010. And then another update on our community relations behalf, we participated in the American Diabetes Association walk, and our employees are really engaged in this, and they raised a total of $47,489. So they get very excited behind that event. Some updates for cultural tourism. In terms of sales, we just completed our History After Dark tour, which was our inaugural event for that tour, including the Heritage Center and the Ross Cemetery, and we feel like it was very successful. It was held over 4 days, and we had over 400 people go through the tour. So felt like that was a big success for a first-time event. We also had 24 articles published about the event, so write-up, so good press value for that event. We're currently still booking tours and have 3 salespeople now working aggressively to book and sell our Cherokee cultural tours. On the construction side, the Supreme Court renovation, we should be finished with the interior this month, so we'll begin on the exhibit design there with the expected grand opening of that Supreme Court Museum in March of 2010. And we continue to work on the Ross Cemetery. We expect work on the National Prison to begin in early January, and then we're also working on the Ross School, and we'll begin that in the middle of February. And we also are doing our education tours again. Last year, we had over 2,900 students go through our education tours from 23 schools in Northeast Oklahoma. So continuing to educate our school kids on Cherokee culture. And that is pretty much wraps up my updates, unless there are questions for CNE or questions that I can take back to someone for CNE.
Any questions or comments from Ms. Jarvis on CNE? It's not. Thank you,
for allowing me to
being
provide the report this evening.
Is there anyone here to report for Cherokee Nation business? No, no one here. Moving on down to Mr. Collins, Cherokee Nation Industries.
Good evening.
Evening.
I don't have a update on financials tonight, but I'm hoping that accounting was working this evening late and tomorrow, and I'm expecting to have updated results for our E&F meeting tomorrow. Native American percentage is currently still holding at 82% on our local employment of 466 employees. And as there's been issues or concerns around some of the lack of work over the last month or two, we've had customers rescheduling and moving things in and out, and I know there's been things have come up with that, with somewhat flexing some of the hours down. I'm happy to say that that's rebounding now, that we're calling those employees back, sending out letters. Our customers have done exactly what they've said. They've started loading a lot more work back up on us. So it's good news. You never know with the economy when schedules will change. So it's good that we're in the process now of bringing back employees and potentially maybe in a few more employees than what we had flexed down. Many employee activities over the past month: service awards, pizza lunches for the employees, Halloween costume contests, veterans recognitions at all the facilities. PA Sims had retired. No, Meredith, you probably remember PA. PA was 33 years, very instrumental in C&I success with customers, and just a great individual. Now we're in the process of beginning our employee Thanksgiving lunches and getting prepared for the turkey handouts. So that's always a great time and kind of a lot of activities this time of year. Last meeting, I advised of C&I, going to the kickoff meeting at the Redstone Arsenal in Huntsville, Alabama. It was a great success. Met with many of the program management offices and the customers, which is the warfighter. C&I will be supporting the warfighter through rework and repair, make-buy, to reset deployed equipment and combat operations. And this is in the process of being definitized by the program offices, and we'll start seeing work on this very soon. It'll ramp up. It'll start out slow, but it'll ramp up over a period of time. So it's going to be a great opportunity. Spend a lot of time on the base, meeting our customer, and actually seeing some of the equipment that they're wanting us to buy and fix. So. Telecom, I'll be traveling later this week to Verizon. We have received our first contract from Verizon. It's in black and white now, so we'll be meeting with the customer and looking at the scope of work and to begin that as a new potential legacy customer for us in the future in our telecom division. Our next board meeting is Wednesday, December 2nd at 2 o'clock in Stillwell for those that can attend. Appreciate it. That concludes my report for this evening. Any questions?
Questions, comments? Yes, Ms. Tony Ford Jordan.
When do you close out your fiscal year? Was it September 30th?
September 30th.
When will you have your
Hopefully tomorrow.
profit loss statement available?
Hopefully that'll be tomorrow. That's, they're working on it right now. I was hoping to have it tonight, and when I called to try to pull the reports, they were still in the process of finalizing. So it'll be in tomorrow's E&F meetings what I'm expecting to be able to present that.
So you'll bring copies to us tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments? Congratulations on the Department of Defense work.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Next order of business is old business. There being none pending, we'll move to new business. And the first was that resolution that came out of Community Services is a ratification of an agreement with the Department of Transportation and Indian Reservation Roads. Mr. Buzzard.
Yes, what this resolution does is let us receive funding directly from Federal Highway Administration. And what this does is expect it to be less cumbersome and result more in timely payment than what we usually get from the Bureau of Indian Affairs. So I move for this resolution to be approved.
Second. Moved in second. Any discussion? Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, out of Rules Committee is item 2. It's an act amending the Cherokee Nation Election Code. After many months of analyzing and revising the code, we have an amended act in front of us. But Ms. Watts, did you want to?
Unfortunately, because of the pending lawsuit on redistricting, there are some issues which require us to table it 1 month. So I make a motion to table.
Motion to table. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 3 is a resolution confirming the nomination of Larry Adair to the Gaming Commission. Mr. Crittenden?
Madam Speaker, the principal chief is selected or nominated, and I want to bring forward the name of Mr. Larry Adair for confirmation as a commissioner of the Cherokee Nation Gaming Commission. Mr. Adair is very well known in this area, from his early days as an educator and school administrator to his 22 years as a state rep and 4 years as Speaker of the House, and most recently his experience as a banker in Adair County. And it's my privilege to move for approval.
Second. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And Mr. Adair in the audience this evening, I don't think he was going to be able to be here. Well, there's Mr. Hoskin. Okay, item 4 is a resolution waiving the sovereign immunity of the Cherokee Nation and Cherokee Nation Home Health Services. When the Tribal Council considers legislation or resolutions such as this, we consider it one of the Cherokee Nation people's most inherent rights, and that we are empowered to protect and exercise. At times, however, in loan agreements and such, the council authorizes the principal chief to partially waive our sovereign immunity as it applies to the particular loan agreements. And the one before us here is a loan agreement with Arvest Bank, and I would consider a motion to approve this partial waiver of sovereignty.
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And out of Executive and Finance Committee, item 5 is amendment to the budget, and it amends the 2010 budget under Mod 1. Mr. Baker?
Yes. This Mod 1 decreases the overall budget by $10,233,000 to $537 million. And some of the items included in this is funds for the leach water line of $1,790,000, public service use program of $146,000. It also decreases the Department of Interior self-governance road fund by $12,170,000 because this is transferred to federal other funding, pending the expected receival of economic stimulus funds to replace those road projects. Also this afternoon from the Resources Committee, we transferred $300,000 from the reserve of the Cherokee Commission until the carryover comes forward later in the year to the Cherokee Day Work Program. Make a motion for this approval.
Second. Second. By acclamation?
By acclamation.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Okay, the budget stands approved. And item 6 it was included in the amendment. It's a resolution opposing a certain saltwater injection well at Vian. Mr. Thornton, you brought that forward. You want to discuss it briefly?
This resolution is opposing the proposed IMAC petroleum services. Class 2 saltwater injection well at Vian, Oklahoma. And this is to go to urges the Oklahoma Corporation Commission to deny the approval of this permit. And I'd like to put that into a motion.
Second. Moved in second. Any discussion? Ms. Camwatt?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My personal feelings is this is one of those state positions that a lot of folks probably never consider when they go to the polls to vote. But for me, this is I don't know that I voted for any of those folks on my individual level that are currently seated for one of these very reasons. Corporation commissioners have a lot of power and influence when it comes to our natural resources in the state of Oklahoma. And I think you need to look considerably about where their interests lie. Is it with oil and gas companies who might be polluting our waters? Or is it with those, our natural resources and the things that are important to us in terms of our water, especially those that are culturally significant? And I think in this case, they've already approved the actual permit, but that doesn't mean that we don't need to make a statement and we don't need to fight. And I am grateful that Councilman Thornton brought this forward.
Mr. Thornton?
They have not approved this permit.
Okay, that was another one. There was confusion. We have had cases, thank you for that clarification. There's been cases of these saltwater wells, and I guess the findings are is that the state of Arkansas has completely banned these saltwater injection wells. I know that some folks may make their living by oil and gas, and there's the ability to safely do the oil and gas industry. But this is one of those areas where I think if we don't have a place to do things. So in other words, I think this is critical. This is not just another resolution. I think it's something where an area where all of us should pay very close attention and more so to these positions. And I appreciate Councilman Thornton bringing this forward. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Any further? Dr. Cobb?
I'd like to echo in some respect what Councilor Cowan Watts says. Councilor Cowan Watts and I may be approaching this from different viewpoints, but we arrive at the same destination. One of my concerns here, and I'm not an attorney, and I think one of the things that I'm going to do is delve into this a little bit further, is a lot of times the conversation turns to environmental damage, and while those may or may not be concerns, for me the concern is there is some question about our water rights. And I'm a little concerned that there's the possibility of something damaging the water table, and we didn't even have a seat at the table on that. That's one of my concerns. So I wanted to publicly voice that. My concern does not go so much to being from Bartlesville and growing up around Phillips Petroleum Company, but I'm a little concerned that there is, even if it's a slight possibility of some detriment to the water table, and there is some question about that are up in the air on our water rights, that we do not have a seat at that table. And I'm concerned about that, so I am supporting this.
Mr. Thornton?
I'm glad you brought that up. I was at the hearing at Tulsa, and the IMAC Corporation's representative, Tulsa, made a statement that they don't recognize water rights for the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, and they would proceed as such, and they disagree completely with all rights. So I think you all should know that also.
Any other remarks, comments, discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, Mr. Hoskin, I noticed that you may have a distinguished guest tonight.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have a distinguished constituent in the audience tonight. He's a man who served on this body honorably for 12 years, my immediate predecessor. And he now is my state representative, and he's serving honorably there. And I'm just, he said this about me back when I was in college when I was tagging along with him here. He said he was proud as he could be of me, and well, I'm as proud as I could be of him. And that's State Representative Chuck Hoskin. Now, Madam Speaker, I also say there's no better friend in Indian country or Cherokee Nation, to Indian country or Cherokee Nation in the state legislature than Representative Chuck Hoskin. That's true. From what I hear out of the state legislature, I'm not sure he's got a lot of competition for that distinction, but he does a fine job representing Indian country. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Hoskin. Welcome. Does it feel like old home week? Is he sitting in your seat also? Would you like to make a comment?
No, I truly don't. I appreciate what you all do each and every day. I know what you do, and I know it's a very hard job, and all the time it goes unthanked, and I want to thank you. I appreciate you.
Appreciate that. Any other announcements?
Madam Speaker, for clarification, those 3 items we passed in the Resource Committee, do they need to be brought to the committee tonight?
No. No, the ones that we brought forward were the only ones that I recognize.
Mr. Crittenden had one, and Buell had one, and I had one.
Did you ask that they be brought forward tonight?
If it's necessary, I think we probably should.
We don't have anything. We'd have to amend the agenda and go do all that again.
Okay.
Ms. Campbell?
And Madam Speaker, he was just asking, because I know I couldn't recall, he had asked me, and that's what we were just making sure for the record before we adjourned, if there was some timeliness to any of the 3.
Mr. Buzzer?
I want to remind council members and the audience that our community service meeting is going to be at the Head Start Center tomorrow morning starting at 10 o'clock.
Yes, Mr. Baker.
Yes, at this time, it's my honor and privilege to recognize the Head Start Leadership Academy, and they're in the back row in the center. If they'd stand up, please.
Thanks for being here. Mr. Baker, did you want to introduce our friend from the Kaw Nation?
Yes, it's my privilege to introduce Aaron Carlson with the Kaw Nation. I first met Aaron probably 8 or 9 years ago. He was working in D.C. with Wes Watkins.
Mr. Carlson, would you like to make a comment?
No, thank you for letting me come. Good.
He's here observing how the Cherokee Nation operates and our processes, our governmental processes, and I know you're impressed, aren't you? I have an announcement. No, I'm not. On December the 10th at 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, we're having a community meeting in Locust Grove. And Mr. Baker, I'll challenge you on how many people will show up.
I'll be there.
Any other announcements? Okay, I'm entertaining a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Thank you. All right.